Is your content boring? How not to be boring on social media. Hi, I'm Lucy Griffiths, and I'm going to share a few strategies to help you keep entertaining your audience and create exciting content rather than dull. If you like this video, I would love you to subscribe. Please click on the link below. How not to be boring, or how to create content that's exciting and interesting. I'm Lucy Griffiths, and actually this one can be really tricky because when you're first starting out in business, you don't know what to say, and it seems like everybody seems to know what to talk about and you don't. The first thing is actually you want to break down the content into key areas. So it's kind of the how-to videos, how to do something that is in your line of expertise, and then also content that actually gets comment and debate and stimulates discussion. So the ways that you can do that, you can share personal stories about yourself that inspires. You can also share content that is really provocative. It might be that you're having a go at someone or having a big, strong standpoint on something. And actually, when you do this, it might spark discussion. I'm quite an introvert, so I'm not necessarily someone who likes having a big, shouty discussion. I prefer to keep things calm and nice. But there are times when I will say things that I feel really passionate about, whether it's like about politics or whether it is simply about things that I don't like within the online world. So for me, for example, I really don't like it when people start bullying and are mean in the online world. And I see it a lot, and I will often talk about this. So it might be that you talk about particular touch points for you, things that affect you. And when you talk about those particular areas, then you generate more comments and more feedback. So don't just think, oh, what can I say about my business on social media? Actually think about topics that inspire you, entertain you, engage you, and also annoy you. Because if you're getting annoyed about it, it's very likely other people will too. Also, bring people along for the journey. So if you're doing something, you're at an event, you're filming videos, whatever it may be. Also, if you are doing something where you've got to make a decision, ask your audience. You can do polls, you can do debates to ask your audience what they want to do. And when you engage them and entertain them and have that debate, it will create much better content.
Hiya, so I create content in three main areas, and I basically maneuver this around so that I start with YouTube, but I am sharing my content to Facebook, to Instagram, and to LinkedIn once it's gone on YouTube. So first of all, I need to decide what is going to work on YouTube, and then it spreads out from there. And at the end of the day, you know quickly whether your content has worked or not by the views that you get. So some videos will get, great traction, lots of views, and really show up in search. And this is a piece of content that people want, they're searching for. And then other times you put a lot of effort in, and actually people aren't searching for that piece of content. It doesn't mean to say it's boring, but they're not searching for it. So YouTube, because it's search generated, that does matter. But there's also a second field within YouTube. You've got the SEO search factor, but then also the thumbnail has to look enticing and attractive. And so you really need to decide, is my thumbnail working? And if it works, then people are going to click on it. It's that clickability factor because it's your magazine, it's your cover. So if we go and look down here, some of these, for example, and you decide what works. So if I was looking at these again, I would say this one looks quite good, but the green sell button is hard to read the word sell, and I don't like that picture of me. So I would actually have a picture where it's somebody actually looking out and facing the audience. So making engagement, making eye contact. So it's all of those things that really entices you and draws you in. Now, I next want to show you Morning Fame, which essentially is a thing that you can sign up for. It's not very much, it's about $5 a month, and it can tell you about the stats of your particular video and whether it's worked or not. But one of the great things about it is, you get the stats on the most viewed, the most liked, but actually I like this best of all, which is which thumbnail would you click? So if I was looking at these thumbnails, I would definitely be saying, well, actually mine is the brightest, I have eye contact, it stands out. The other thumbnails don't stand out in the same way. So if your thumbnail is not working, if it's not standing out, if it doesn't appeal to both genders, then actually, really think, what can I do to improve my thumbnail? Because your thumbnail is really a second opportunity for you to market your video. So you want to make sure that it works. And for one thing, that it's not boring. So, this really matters. These little attention to details matter. And if you're not someone who likes creating thumbnails and who is good with products like Canva, then go and get someone who can do this, because this will be the game changer for your business. And it's not very difficult to learn how to do this or to hire someone, whether it's on Fiverr, whether it's a VA, who can create thumbnails that are going to make your videos stand out. And obviously, this makes your video someone think, is this going to be boring or is this enticing? And you want your video to be enticing. The next area that I look at actually is then creating images for sharing this video, whether it's onto Instagram. And so if I'm using IGTV, I will then try to market the videos, and we'll just go to IGTV 1 second. So here's my Instagram feed, and I will make sure that I've got things that really stand out. And because of that, you want to be using little bits of video that are in your feed, but also ensuring that you are maximizing your videos and including IGTV. So these are all the same videos that I've uploaded from YouTube, but I ensure that I have a vertical thumbnail that will really make it stand out, and so that it attracts people. Do they want to watch this video? So how do I do that? So we're going to just go to Canva, and I'll show you some of the thumbnails. And the great thing about these is you can use them as covers for your IGTV video, but you can also then put them in stories. And so what I try to do is make a couple of these that I can then include in stories to push people to that content. So for example, here's one, is my content boring? And kind of picture of me pointing. This one I might put in stories, is my content boring? And I basically took this image from Canva. So if I go back to photos, and you can go through the search category for images in boring that kind of make you think, oh, would that work on stories? Would that make people stop and look twice? And you don't want to look too kind of generic, like it's a stock photo. You want it to be something that really stands out and makes people laugh, or, so animal images, I try to look for these boring for the word boring, see if there's anything. There's not actually that many that makes me go, oh, that looks, that really makes me stand out. So I often use the funny face category. Let's just go to where, you can kind of get faces that stand out more without looking too stock-like. Because at the end of the day, you don't really want a stock photo that's kind of really generic and made in the 1990s or whatever. And so these make people look twice. And, that kind of thing would also work. So if I were to do that, I would literally just copy this, get rid of this image for a second, put this one in. And, that kind of thing, I might move this over slightly. make that more in the middle. And, you know, that sort of thing would make people go, is that funny? You know, and you might want to say, is your content, I might say, is your content boring? And, you know, and that makes people go, is it? And then they start thinking. And so all of those things can really challenge people. So what you want to do is be a disruptor, disrupt the status quo, ask challenging, exciting, enticing questions. The other thing with Canva now is that this is a video. So there's now a video option, which again, you can use these. So I've just used this clip. I don't know if it's actually going to play, but this is a clock ticking, you can sort of see. So I've used this one here. And again, you know, having that, is your content boring? Or this one, you know, I mean, like this is quite cool. Let's have a look. You know, sort of, it makes people look twice. And so in getting people to look twice at your content, then actually what impact does that have? What are they then going to do when they, you know, they feel compelled to watch that? Are they then going to move to the next stage and actually go and watch your video? And, you know, if they're sticking around on your stories and they really like them, then that works. That's great. And it enables you to sell more effectively. And remember that people are 5 times more likely to buy from video. So, you know, some of these are really fun. Like I find that mesmerizing on this one. I mean, I just love this. I would watch that all day. Sorry, I'm a geek. But, you know, those kind of things, if I was watching that in the feed, I would sit and watch that. Whereas I might not necessarily watch some of the other things, you know, like this one, that wouldn't really do very much for me. So it, you know, it just depends. Or, you know, this one would definitely make me go, oh, and I'd want to watch it. So, you know, think about your audience. What would they like? You know, that's quite cool. And again, that could work really well in this particular category. Is your content boring? And so, you know, it's thinking along those lines of what particular topics are going to work. And I might actually swap this out for this because I like this one. Unfortunately, it doesn't work so well vertically. So I might go back. But you get the idea that you can create content that really stands out and makes a difference. So that is one area that I, you know, push both with the thumbnail on YouTube and the thumbnail on IGTV and Instagram. I also ask questions that are, you know, they hook people in. So is your content boring? That means people go, is it? I don't know. And so ask provocative questions that people really want to know about. And then the final thing to say is, you know, also, you can really gain a lot of information by your insights. You know, what posts are people really connecting with? So, you know, what posts from a point of view of organic engagement are they really liking? So this one, you know, got a lot of engagement and a lot of comments. So this was a particular post on, you know, how I'd been trolled. And so, you know, people obviously, you know, wanted to support me. And so that gets more engagement than some of the other how-to videos. But the other how-to videos people really find useful. And when you build up a bank of those, it's that kind of building up of knowledge. So the how-to videos set you up as being an expert, which you want to be in your chosen field. But the emotional posts that are, you know, whether it's about trolling, whether it's about whatever subjects, that gets you like also built another level of, you know, that you have this emotional feeling of, oh no, and you're drawn into that on a different emotional level to support that person. So whatever it may be, actually, you know, you figure out your content, but you want to make sure that there's a hook, that there's an engagement, and that it's going to capture people's imaginations. You know, don't just do the same old thing. Don't just do the stock image. There are so many, if we go back to Canva for a second, there are so many stock images that just, that are a bit boring. So if you can include something else that's going to be exciting, these ones here, I've just pulled up. So how to, so this is a video template. And so you've got, these different emojis. So you can change the words here. So, you could then ask, so you can very easily, I'm just going to delete that thing. Right. And then, you're asking a different question. So just, even if I've used this before, I would perhaps just change that to white. So it's kind of, it looks different. And, it just makes people go, oh, is it? And they don't know. Does it make them want to behave a certain way? And you can make these a little bit bigger. So you could have these as bigger. So again, it just starts looking like a different, it looks like a different post. And at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want to make sure that your content stands out. It looks different and it disrupts people where they go, oh God, is it? And, I don't know. And when they start thinking, is it? That's when you've won, because you want to make them look twice. You want them to look at your content and see, is this something that they want to know about, they want to learn about, they need some help with? And the more that you can do that, the better.
I hope you found this video useful. I share lots of tips and strategies to help you build and grow your online business. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, bye, bye.